Hey guys, I don't have too much time, too much to do at work, so I'm just going to try and make a uncut video, maybe some cut places, just in case something happens or something like that. But I just want to talk about two things in particular. This is kind of like a miscellaneous video, but specifically two things, so it's not really miscellaneous. I want to talk about the Rings of Abomination and the potential future of Assassin's Creed. Now, I do plan on doing a video later whenever I do have better technology at my disposal to do a video with my brother and post it on this channel about the evolution of the Assassin's Creed. But right currently, we did a video on his channel about Gotham Knights, which we're super excited for, right? But on with the video. This is going to not be a very long video, but I want to talk about, like I said, Rings of Abomination first. Whenever we first were getting leaks and stuff like that for Rings of Power, right, I was pretty excited because they were using practical effects by the looks of it. So I was like, yes, we needed practical effects. We haven't really had something from Tolkien lore since The Hobbit, and the Hobbit movies were questionable. They weren't horrible. They weren't bad, but they weren't great. They were okay to good. But later down the lifespan of Rings of Power, this show is horrible. I've been watching I haven't seen it, right? But I've been watching reviews about it, especially from a guy named Shadiversity, who loves Lord of the Rings. And just from his reviews, you could tell this is the worst show in history. The absolute worst. And, like, the thing is, I don't doubt there are people that actually enjoy this show, right? But, at the same time, I don't think there's a lot that enjoy this show. Just to name a few problems. Celebrimbor. Not an issue that he's in the show. It's the actor, per se. It's not that he was not going to do a good job with what he has, because what he has is already crap, but Celebrimbor, he doesn't look like a Celebrimbor, right? Because Celebrimbor was a blacksmith, he was a warrior. And I played the absolute crap out of Shadow of War and Mordor and More of War, but I made a video about why I like it so much. And whenever I heard Celebrimbor, I was so excited to see him finally in, like, some other media outside of books and a video game, which I love the video game. He looks like a politician in the show, and I am very displeased. Very displeased. Another thing, it's basically going to be Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Game of Thrones is completely different from Lord of the Rings. I don't know why they were like, oh yeah, let's make Lord of the Rings Game of Thrones, because that makes sense. And the bad thing is the Game of Thrones new series, House of the Dragon, is actually doing better than that Rings of Abomination right now. So that's unfortunate, because I always saw Game of Thrones lesser, and now people are like, oh yeah, it's better now. That's highly unfortunate. So yeah, that's not good. So And they're labeling everybody as racists and sexists and bigots and stuff like that if you don't like the show, if you have any criticisms, and removing comments and stuff like that. And it's absolutely ridiculous at this moment in time. So, it's the show is horrible, and I can't stand it. Stupid bugs. But onto Assassin's Creed, right? So I'm going to look this up. So this is going to actually be a cut in the video really quick. So Assassin's Creed is actually making 3 new games by what I've just read. Though I think what they're doing is actually going to be separating the games out. So first is Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is going to be set in Baghdad, right? But they also have another Assassin's Creed project that's going to be set in Japan and China. And then there was apparently another game that I didn't get to read about, but because I want to just get this video out there really quick. But the games are returning to a classic style of Assassin's Creed, right? Which fans have been wanting for a while. I'm not the... I don't hate the new Assassin's Creed RPG RPG stuff, right? It's not even elements, but it's literally just full of lone RPGs. But I will admit, there are some things in it that are just not Assassin's Creed. I don't think RPG fits Assassin's Creed necessarily, and I feel like that's what a lot of people disliked about Odyssey, because it had nothing to do with the assassins, besides, magic spear and staff, which the staff, while it's not part of the DLC necessarily, it is tied to a side quest. So a major element that was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla was in a side quest. And then if you want to learn more about that, you needed a DLC, which, granted, the DLCs are really good in Odyssey. But that's not exactly how you build a story in a video game. Especially if there's one that has to be a specific side quest that takes ages to find. And then you have to go through that quest line in order to get to the DLC. But back to the new games that are coming out. Assassin's Creed Mirage and something, I don't know what the game is called yet, that takes place in Japan. But I'm pretty excited for Baghdad and the setting of Japan as well, because, well, that's what a lot of fans wanted for Assassin's Creed, was to go to Japan. Now, if you play through Brotherhood and you get the Apple of Eden, you'll actually see a bunch of symbols. One was Egyptian. I think one was the Viking symbols. But and you also got to see a Japan symbol, right, at that, whatever you were holding the apple. So many people, including I, suspected, hey, you'll probably be going to Japan at some point in the future, because we went to Egypt, right? So it would be logical to go to Japan. Well, we hadn't gone to Japan yet, and now we're going to be going to Japan sometime in the future. But Mirage is taking the series back to its classic roots, and I'm pretty excited for that, because I want them to do that. Now, the main thing I want them to keep, right, is the crouching mechanics, because while, yes, this is a return to the roots, there should be a point where you innovate, right, and iterate. So, well, not iterate, but innovate, at least. So I want to see Basm being able to crouch. In fact, I would like them to make that mechanic in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood 2, 1 even though I don't play it, and stuff like that. But I want to see that crouching mechanic continue onward and stuff like that, because that's really cool to be able to crouch, especially when you couldn't in other Assassin's Creed, and those were based on stealth. So yeah, but so far, Assassin's. It seems like Ubisoft is seeing some mistakes and are trying to rewrite those mistakes to make them actually good again. But I mean, they are coming out with Skull and Bones, unfortunately. So there's that as well. Which Skull and Bones, I wanted a pirate game, right? But I wanted a pirate game where I could actually board the enemy's vessel and kill them with my own, hands instead of watching a cutscene. Which, by the way, the cutscene itself doesn't make it where it takes any skill at all, right? The cutscene makes it where you just destroy the ship or destabilize the ship, whatever they're calling it nowadays, and you just press a button and you board the ship and you get all the loot. Yay. The opponents don't get a fighting chance at all. So, that's not good. But in Assassin's Creed Mirage, back to Assassin's Creed, I think they are actually recognizing some of their mistakes in the Assassin's Creed game, latest Assassin's Creeds of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I think they're all really good games. Just not, for the most part, Assassin's Creed. Like, Odyssey, it had some great ideas for execution on the Assassin's Creed part and the story. But overall, I'm pretty excited for Assassin's Creed Mirage and the other Assassin's Creed games coming in. So, yeah, I think I'll have to do for this video to wrap up. And so I will talk to you guys later.